average med spa today, according to American Medical Spa Association, is doing $1.5 to $2 million in revenue.
Usually it costs you $500,000 or $1 million or something to open up a business, but because you guys have this cost-effective model, you can get in with a lot less.
That's why I say we're a tech company that just happens to be in the waxing business. It just hit top 300 in not just emerging brands, but in top franchises across the country, which is pretty freaking amazing for 4 years old.
What's up, everyone? Super excited to be talking with Brigham about Hello Sugar. It's a brand that I've been following for a while. We've talked a little bit about it, but I'm getting more and more in the beauty industry. I don't know if you can tell, Brigham, but I've been putting some stuff on my face from some Olay creams from Costco, man, and I'm feeling good, but super excited. Hello Sugar is amazing. I love you guys have a very unique model that you can start with a lot lower risk with just a salon while you're building up your flagship or your brick and mortar. And I think that goes to a lot of the success. You guys are going to hit 200 open locations by the end of this year. You guys were number 8 in the Entrepreneur Magazine top new and emerging franchises in the entire world, which is amazing. Financially though, man, the startup costs in relationship to the return is as good as it gets on any franchise disclosure documents I've ever seen. Can you walk me through those numbers as well as, what's driving this growth?
Yeah, I mean, wow, it's been a rocket ship to say the least. I just can't, we can't keep up with the growth that we're having right now. Not just at like the salon store level, but also our franchisees are just growing exponentially, and it's been really fun to watch. We did just hit top 300 in not just emerging brands, but in top franchises across the country, which is pretty freaking amazing for 4 years old. I'm like blown away that they would give us like such an accolade. Yeah, and really what it comes down to is we've created a business that operates a little bit like a service business. Service businesses you can get up and running within 2 to 3 months, and then they just start making cash for you. And we can build a salon suite, a 10 by 10 room, profile of 2 to 3 estheticians hired at a time, in 2 to 3 months. And by the time you open, we're fully booking that first room for you, like by day one, because it's like a small footprint. Then you can incubate, you can test the model, you can season your estheticians, you can grow the brand while you're looking for that full-time flagship, that larger location, and take your time to find that best location because you're already churning revenue and building and seasoning and maturing the brand. So it's a really unique setting because then you take that mature brand that over the next year you're building in the suite and you merge that into the flagship location without the risk, right? Because the risk is, what if I picked the wrong location? What if I wasn't like, whatever, all these things. A salon suite, if let's say, heaven forbid, this was like the wrong location, well, you're not out a ton of money because it's a tiny 10 by 10 room and you just move it. Just move it to a better location. Oh, I made a mistake. I move it. Now that doesn't happen often because our intelligence is like top level. Like we have all the stats around like locations. We know how ours are performing. We have predictive AI models to see like where locations should go. So we don't miss very often, but in the off chance that we did miss, it's so easy to put it into a different location. It mitigates all that risk there that comes with like fixing an anchor on a brick and mortar store.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, ultimately, the first number we look at when we're getting into business, like what's the return?
Yes.
Who cares? The return only matters in relationship to the risk, and that's where I really love that. I mean, jumping into the item 19 and the item 7, like we could talk about average numbers, but what you're referring is even lower risk than that, right? Because we're just starting with the salon. And then what you mentioned is it's not even the full risk of just that salon because pretty much everything is transferable kind of to that next location.
Yeah, it's so true. Right, because that one room, like you can move all the equipment from that room over, you can move your members over, you can move your staff over. And the cool thing is, as you're building this business, your startup costs are less because you're making money, and that money you can reinvest into hiring new employees, and you don't have all this like huge rent and overhead costs associated with a traditional flagship where you're losing money for all this time while you're building it. I mean, a suite, a 10 by 10 room is so minimal in terms of the impact on the risk, on the financial consequences of quote unquote missing. And it's so much quicker to get profitable too. So it's a win all around. And that's, I think, why so many people are looking at this business and saying, hey, I'm spending 10 hours a week on this. I can keep my full-time job. I don't have to dive all the way into this. I'm not investing my house and my farm and everything else into building this like flagship that I don't even know is going to work. Like I can start really small, prove the model, and then I feel comfortable going to that next location. And Bennett, just like real quick, like my story, how I started, I was 26 years old. I had no money. I started my first location exactly like this. I built a one-room suite because I didn't have the money to build a flagship. And I remember about 8 months in, going to the location that I'd selected for a flagship, thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like if this fails, like I don't know what I do. I'm gonna go bankrupt. Like, what does going bankrupt at 26 look like? And that fear has always stuck with me. And then the thought that went through my head was, okay, I've made it in a one-room studio where there's no foot traffic, no visibility. It's in the back of like this office. Like, I know that even if worst case scenario, I can pay my rent in my new location. And this new location now has all the visibility in the world, all the credentials of a flagship. I'm going to be okay. And that was a very comforting feeling for me moving into business.
I love that. And when did you decide? So that was your experience. How did that lead into franchising? And what's the timeline on that?
Yeah, so the first year I built a suite and then I started my flagship. The next year I opened my flagship and I built another suite. And so for 5 years, I built locations in that exact same capacity until I had 10 locations. I had a profitable business. Going out of COVID, we were actually really strong because we raised our prices. And we haven't got into this yet, but we have a receptionless model. So we don't have any reception in the salon. And so when we came out of COVID, all these people were texting in to get appointments. They were calling everybody else, but we were able to book them all. So we took a ton of market share from all the competitors because it was text, it was automated, it was like above the times, right? And I was teaching at a university at the time, and I got this amazing gig where I had the ability to just teach whatever I loved and was passionate about. So I created a class called How to Start a Six-Figure Income for $3,000 or Less. And it had this like cult following. I mean, everyone has like $3,000 or less. And then students were coming out making $100,000 out of this class. And they're like, dude, you got to go take Professor Brigham's class. Like, it's the best one there. And I just found my calling in life. It's like helping people start businesses. And I wanted to connect that with a business that I love and I felt proud and passionate about. And so in 2021, we went to market with our first franchise in January. And it's been like, I kid you not, just exponential growth, like doubling every single year since we've started. And it's been really fun to watch the growth.
How else do you get those awards when you're competing against 4,000 other franchisors that have all been around longer than you, other than like a handful? So definitely speaks to that. Recently I was talking with my younger brother and talking at Hello Sugar, and he goes, wait, you know him? Or he's like, how do you know him? And I was like, from whatever. I think I met Keaton, your business partner, on the plane or whatever. And my brother's like, I took his class. He's awesome. I was like, dude, everybody loves Brigham's class. When you said the cult following, I'm like, no way. My brother just told me that last week, which is so funny. So now that you're franchising, you didn't have experience in a salon before, right? And what I'm getting at is, it sounds appealing. I would love to get a franchise that I could make, whatever the average item 19 numbers are, 100 and
192,000 profit.
192,000 profit. I could work 10 hours a week, keep my job.
Yeah.
Receptionist, like, okay, I want this, but I don't have any experience in the beauty industry, so this probably isn't for me. What do you say to that?
Ben, I'm going to tee you up on this. Ask me how many franchise owners are male.
Okay, how many are male?
Like 70% who have never waxed before, know nothing about beauty. Like it's like totally fine. Look, people always ask like, how are you like in this business? I'm very passionate about business itself, not about the service, right? I could be doing trash and be very happy with that. The economics on this business are just so good. When I started this, I was asking a friend, and I was like talking to her about work, and she was like, yeah, I had to pay $20,000 in taxes. I'm like, $20,000, girl, how much money do you make? And she's a single mother working part-time. And she said, oh, I think I did like 100,000 last year. And I'm like, mind blown. I'm like, okay, run me through those numbers. She goes, I'm an esthetician. I do a $45 Brazilian in 15 minutes.
You're
So
like, sweet.
$180 an hour, you make more than a lawyer. Like, what are your costs like? And she's like, it's just wax. It's like $3 a service. And I'm like, okay, this is insane. And so I flew her down to Arizona to train my first esthetician and help me get started in this. And that's where the business genesis came from. Not me just being passionate about this business. And one of the things that I've tried to do as a franchisor is automate the life of franchisees. So I looked at, and we're a very tech forward company. I like to say we're a tech company that happens to do waxing. But we've looked at every single facet of this business, and we don't have time to go into everything today. And that's where, follow-ups are for. And we said, how do we automate this? And so, to sum this up, we take care of marketing, We take care of all the reception, which is 40% of the staff usually. Like we cut reception out. It's like all AI based, it's all tech based. It's amazing actually. We have an app. It's really cool. And then we take care of like the training side. We help you hire your estheticians. You know, the contracts are all made. Like the structure is completely there. The marketing, like where most people are like, oh, I have to spend all this time and be like a brand ambassador for my business. The majority of owners, all they do is they say, I want to spend more, I want to spend less when they look at a report once a month. It's a 5 minute conversation. We do all of it. Like literally everything you need to get this business going besides managing employees is it's basically taken care of, you know, for you on that side to a large extent. Now, I don't want to say you're absolved from work because there is still things to do, and we can go into what those things are, but
Yeah.
it's really centered heavily around managing employees and not like the really challenging things that make a business like tick, like marketing and reception.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little biased here, but I'll use a few other examples to back you up on like you got into this for the opportunity, right? Like I
Yes.
got into Dirty Dough for the opportunity. The other brand that I've been working with that's on fire, it's a tanning business. The guy's Nigerian. Half the owners are African American. And you look at it and you're like, okay, you're like, yeah, you need to be passionate, but just what you said, like I'm passionate about business. I was passionate about cookies when I was doing cookies. Now I'm passionate about this because it's just like you find passion if you're doing things the right way, I think. So
Yes.
because a lot of people will put themselves in the box, myself included, on like, this is the type of business I'm capable of running, and this is the type of business I'm not capable of running. Not really knowing it's just like, no, a business is a business, whether you're
Business
selling a
is business.
cookie or a tanning bed service or a waxing service. Like it really comes back to what is the support like behind it. So anyways,
Yes.
I love that. And again, you don't need experience in the beauty industry or the waxing industry to get into a Hello Sugar. Are there other types of experiences that you are looking for? Like who's a good and a bad franchisee with that in mind?
Yeah, and you know, I don't want to absolve people from saying like you're not going to have work. One thing that's really important to me when I'm looking for franchise owners is like how can they connect to estheticians? Because estheticians can have, they're very like loving. They give their heart to the business. They want to be like all in on that side, service oriented, but at the same time can be a little scared to sell. And this is a sales job first and waxing second. If they can't produce the numbers of like a high sales conversion rate, then they're not going to be a great esthetician. And it's the owners that like can't adapt and pivot off of that are not good owners. So like managing people is still a very real part of this business. And you know, I've had owners where I've talked to their staff and it's like, staff, like, do you feel like you're good at selling? And they're all like, yes. And I'm like, well, your numbers don't show that. And so as a leader, we've got to be able to go back to our staff and like train that, help them with the hiring process, helping with the sales process, and really lead the staff into better sales. And if we're not comfortable on that side of things, then this really isn't a good business for you.
Do you have tech in place for me to monitor my employees if I'm not there to see if they're good at sales and kind of what's going on?
Yeah, this is where like I want to pull my glasses like full of, you know, like the nerdy side of things. We invest insane amount of money into the tech. Like I just wish I could just go into tons of detail on this. Like Lululemon, for example, just tangent soapbox here. Lululemon, 70% automation. Like literally, if you asked a ticket on chat to them, they're at 70%. We're at 65% in a service business. It's so much easier to do e-commerce than service. I'd like to think that we're the most advanced service AI based tech out there. And because our team is so like well infrastructured, our data that we're using to support franchisees is insane. We've custom built all of our platform. And the way I think about it is like, as a franchisee, I want things like collated and synthesized into a very simple process. So what I did was I said, okay, here's the stat and here's what you do about it. And I go down this list like it's a health check. So sales is a big part. How well they're selling new estheticians? Like, well, here's it's called MCR, membership conversion rate. And if it's off, here are the exact steps you need to fix it. We have a franchise level sales group that will do one-on-one coaching with your staff to teach them how to sell. So it's like, okay, this is off, send them here.
Yeah.
Help them learn how to sell. Okay, it's still off, fire them and find a new employee that can sell. And you know, so these things are just like literally all automated. And I could go into detail for so long, like an hour on this, of just like all of the different reports and all of the different supports that Hello Sugar offers to make sure that your staff are like ready to go.
A flip side of that is I don't have the tech in place. I have employees in there and my sales dip. What do I do? Do I retrain everybody? Do I guess and start trying to fire people and try to like the issues you don't know, you know? unless you're really inspecting it and keeping track of it, you don't know where to make those tweaks. And that's why I've loved, the beauty in the box model that you guys have built. It's like, here's everything. Yeah, like, yes, you're going to run into issues. Yes, you're the business owner, right? Like the way that I like to see it, here's the business in a box. It's the exact playbook on how to open it and how to run it effectively and how to troubleshoot. That's the playbook, but you're still the quarterback, right? You still have to, you're still there. Even if it's only going to take you 5,
You're not
maybe
sure.
20 hours a week, you're still the guy driving it. So with the tech, for me as a business owner that doesn't like to work in the business, whatever business I've been, like I want to work at arm's length and work on it rather than in it because I like it more. You can expand a little bit better, but the only way you could do that is with clear visibility on the tech, which I'm super impressed with Hello Sugar's tech.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean it's been a 4 years in the making, we'll say, but our tech team, like just to give you an idea, our staff is 45 strong. You're not going to find another business 4 years old that have 45 like full-time dedicated employees, and half of those employees are on the tech side.
Yeah.
Like we have programmers, we have app developers, we have like reporting specialists, we have coders, we have like a full army of just tech people looking to make this business as tech forward as possible. That's why I say we're a tech company that just happens to be in the waxing business.
Yeah. So I met a few of the corporate team members earlier,
Yeah.
and they told me that they're all like, yeah, my franchise is doing XYZ. I was like, wait, what franchise? And they're like, my Hello Sugar franchise. And everybody's got a freaking Hello Sugar franchise. So I was like, and one of them was in Utah. I'm like, dang it, there's still territories. But I'm going to be a prospect for franchising. If we could kind of walk through, obviously this is a great business model.
Yeah.
I also am a broker that represents 300 something. And there's nothing else like that. Out of the 300 other brands, there's nothing that'll even say, 10 hours, let alone 10 hours on a business that is top 8. You know what I mean? Or rank number 8. So that's really cool. Okay. What is the discovery process like? If I want to learn more about Hello Sugar, do you guys do like discovery days? Can I go visit a store? How do I get more information to vet this further?
Yeah, I love that. Well, talking about vetting, you mentioned a little bit about like the team. Talked to a couple of team members who are like franchise owners. Um, I'm proud to say that literally every US employee that's paid on the corporate team has a franchise. Like, isn't that crazy?
That is
Like a
insane.
100% of us are franchise owners. I don't think you'll ever find a business like that where like the corporate executive team, like they're all owners of the franchise. And that's because we bleed for it. We built it. We know it's successful. We see the ins and outs. We're all growing our independent markets. And it's so fun to see that like everyone believes so much in this business that they're all invested in the business and to some degree. And that's very special for a couple of reasons. And I'm going to get to your question. One of the biggest reasons is you want the franchisor to be acting in your best interest. And how do you ensure that? Well, if their financial alignment is 100% there, meaning like they're not going to add a fee because they pay the same fees as you, they're not going to add something that's not going to make you like more profitable. Like they're completely aligned. I pay the same fees as the franchisees on my corporate stores. So I'm not going to like raise prices here when it's going to affect my numbers as well. I'm completely aligned in trying to make the franchise better. And every single owner on this franchise or corporate team knows that if they put time and effort into the franchise, it's going to make their business better as well. And so that's how we've grown so fast. That's why our technological innovations are like 4 times faster than anybody else out there. But you asked the question about how do we like vet this process? And this is what I'll tell you. Every week we have a leadership call where you can talk to one of the franchisor leaders. Every week we have a leadership call where you can talk to franchisees. We have a litany of podcasts, of educational material, of videos that I've created in the background. We have a group of friend development reps or sales experts that will help coach you through this process. And unlike, buying a car, which will feel very salesy, this is not that at all. I turn people down very often on this business because I want to find the right franchisees because it protects our name. Like we're publishing, and you'll see this probably later as you ask questions, what's called an item 19. And you'll go through this in the FDD, but the item 19 is where you see the financial performance of the franchise. If you look at all of our competitors, they'll put something like top level number, like, oh, this much revenue, but you have no real insights to how the franchise is doing. Bennett, I publish every single franchisee's financial performance in there that's been open over a year.
Wow. Yeah.
Anything that
You can't
qualifies
ask
like
for
in that box,
more
it's
openness
published.
than that. That's awesome.
Yeah. There's 40 pages of financial data on our franchise item 19, 40 pages. It's like insane. I don't know if it's exactly 40, but it's
Yeah.
huge. Like there's complete transparency into how the brand is doing. Like I will not have somebody get into this brand. I've not had it yet in 4 years and say, man, I didn't know what I was signing up for. Like you come into this is not a sales process. This is a discovery process. This is an awareness process. I want you knowing exactly what you're getting into and loving the brand from day one and not feeling like this is a surprise because we're married. Once you get into this business, you and I are married together and we're going to be working side by side as partners to make sure that your salons are successful. I don't want to bring somebody in that like will fail. Like that's just super huge for me.
And allowing all of your corporate US-based employees to own a franchise. I love that alignment that allows. And also, like, how is that possible? That's every franchisor's dream, but it's not possible because usually it costs you 500,000 or 1 million or something to open up a
Yeah.
business. But because you guys have this cost-effective model, you can get in with a lot less. And what are those requirements that you guys are looking for, like liquid capital, net worth? Who qualifies financially for a Hello Sugar?
Yeah, I mean, to build a one room, like a one territory location, you've got to be able to turn it into a flagship. So you've got to be making enough money to be able to get a loan for somewhere between 200 to our item 19 says $700,000, but that's really to protect us. I'd say the average franchise costs about 350,000 to get up and running. And you can look at your market, you can see those numbers for yourself. So I don't want to say every location is going to be like that, but my personal experience is it's cost me between 150 to take a second gen space and open it to up to $520,000 for like this really nice, expensive, like top of the line space. So somewhere in those range. But for an SBA loan, you need about 10% down. You need to be able to qualify for that SBA loan. So you need to have like financial performance and some liquid capital to be able to qualify for that loan. But to start, and this is where it's been really good for our franchisor team. I mean, we're opening a one room suite. It's not that expensive to get this suite open and running. Like, so we can vet that during that year and we can use some of those profits as a means of proof to open our location afterwards.
So the minimum that somebody would need to get started, what would that be?
Yeah, it's a hard number to know exactly, but it's about 150,000 in liquid. That would get you fully done without even a loan to get up and running. And you know that also proves that you'll have enough money when it's time to build a flagship to get the loan that
Yep.
you need to open the flag. And you can
Okay,
do that
so
with your retirement accounts. Like there's these things called Rob reports. SBA loans require 10% down. There's many ways to go about that, and we can discuss those.
and that's part of the discovery process is how much liquid do you have? How can we fill in that gap?
Yeah,
Where are some connections and things like that?
yeah.
Okay, so now I'm stoked on the model. Um, I know how to fund it. What about territory? I'm in Utah. Is there any available territory? Just generally speaking, talk to me about how territories work and if people are buying multiple, what you guys suggest.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're selling the country out. I mean, as you can tell, like pretty fast. I think Utah doesn't have. I don't think there's very many territories in Utah even available at this point. I think most of them were taken. But throughout the country, like we have a lot of territories in big cities. And it's interesting, like what I think would go fast just doesn't. And then sometimes like full on states are just like gone within 6 months. It's really interesting. So when you reach out to Bennett and to see about what territories are available, we have a digital map. You know, we're a tech company, so we know exactly what territories at any time are available. You could check within 10 seconds to see if it's available. It's really quick.
Okay, awesome. And then the way that it works, you're gaining access to X amount of miles in a territory. I start with my salon, and then in that same geographic area is where I'm going to be opening up the flagship.
Yeah, salon suite,
Right.
right? That 10 by 10 room.
Yes.
So you'll get an exclusive territory around you. And what's really important is like we're trying to make sure these territories are far enough apart that you're not like cross commingling and like it's weakening your brand because you're too close to somebody else. We really got it down. Like the way I think about it is like I don't want to travel more than like 15 minutes for a haircut. And it's very similar in this business. Like, you know, 12 to 15 minutes apart is about where you want to be on this.
Awesome. Now, how does that work with, I'm assuming multiple territories on a reoccurring membership model, there's a lot of advantages there. Your marketing dollars go further, and then it doesn't matter where your clients are going as long as, I own Utah County, there's 700,000 people. Maybe I throw 4 salons here or whatever
Yeah,
that number is. Uh,
right.
how much, yeah, talk to me about reoccurring membership and how that plays a key role in Hello Sugar.
Yeah, let me back up a little bit. Like, how do we find clients and then the recurring membership? Because they're all like interrelated. So we do a premium model where we send out ads on like socials and then like Google and stuff. And it's really unique. We offer them something for free. and then we upsell them to enough to cover the advertising costs. So it's like break even amount right there. And then when they come in the door, you're not making money that first appointment. You might even lose a little money on their first appointment. In Arizona, we have about a 43% conversion rate, and that's pretty typical, plus or minus 5% across salons performing across the country. So almost 1 in 2 people that walk in the door buy a membership. And that membership is just like, if you're ever going to come back, it's cheaper to buy the membership and then be on the membership than it is not to. It's like, why would you not do this? This is a no-brainer. It's really about creating some kind of consideration for payments in the future. And so they come in, they buy the membership, and then they stay on that membership. They have an app where they can pause and cancel their membership or change it anytime they want. It's really easy to use. And then as they come back in, we offer them loyalty benefits like free brows or free underarms, similar to like a Starbucks membership where like the more you use it, you get like different benefits from it. So that's how that works. And it's been very popular and successful up to date. And you can use that membership at any salon across the country. And so it's really cool. I just had a girl I was talking to. She was like, yeah, I just went to Idaho and I was so shocked you had one in Boise. So I went to the Boise location. Like, yeah, like we're starting to be a national company, 200 locations by the end of the year.
My membership as a customer can get me into any of them.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Anything across the country, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming you guys are doing, I don't know, every month or so, if one customer actually moves, are you guys tracking
reconciliation?
That
Absolutely.
Okay, super exciting. I want to get into the sister company, Hello Skin, that you guys just started and just launched. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, this is big, Bennett. I'm so excited about this. Actually, today is June 19th, 2025, and today is our first day of customers. So this is the inception birth, like literally the birth of Hello Skin. And let me tell you about this because it's going to take a while to wrap your brain around this. But here in Arizona, I have 20,000 active clients in Phoenix in a 6-week period. 20,000 of those unique customers, right? And I used to think that so Hello Skin is a facial longevity clinic. It's one that is all about creating the most advanced, technologically advanced, amazing things to help your face live as long as possible, be as beautiful as possible, and create longevity of the face. It's a different spin on a med spa because med spas typically are like high priced. They're like kind of inaccessible to the common person. And they're also not focused in your interest because they're going to offer a ton of services to make money. And we've decided, morally, we're not going to offer a ton of things. We're going to offer only what the data say are the best services for our skin. So you don't have to do that research. But if you wanted to do that research, our website is all supported from case studies, clinical evidence, scientific backing. Hello Skin is a financial powerhouse. Hello Skin is a powerhouse of clinical data to produce the longevity concept. And so what we do is we do injections, similar to a med spa, like Botox injections. We do CO2 lasers. We do facial longevity services like diamond glows, like hydrofacials, et cetera. And we have a really powerful skincare line that we're developing for our customers to just focus in on what's really the core of need for the skin. And let me tell you this, Bennett, the reason this came about is I was sitting in a meeting with an esthetician, makes about $60K a year. And I was like, hey, can I meet with you on Thursday? And she goes, no, I'm doing Botox on Thursday. And I said, wait a minute, you're doing what? You're 25 years old. She's like, yeah, but it prevents me from having wrinkles in the future. And I was with a couple estheticians. I was like, how many of you guys do Botox? They all raised their hand. And this is crazy to me. You're 25. Why are you doing Botox at 25 years old? And so I walked down the hallway where there's a ton of estheticians and I said, hey, how many of you guys do Botox or filler or any of these things? And 9 out of 9 raised their hands. And I'm like, holy crap. I thought this was 40-plus-year-old women. No, this is my 20,000 active clients in Phoenix demographic. And so that was 8 months ago. And during this time, I've spent hundreds of hours just in the research and producing what I believe to be the most advanced facial longevity services we could offer. And it's been really cool. So today's our first day. We're following a similar model of freemium. So because we're a franchise, we're able to do things a lot less expensive and just in bulk. We've already figured out beauty in a box. Our model's great for that. So we're applying all that we already know. And we're giving away $200 in free talks, neuromodulators, like Botox, for anyone that walks in the door. And then we're just really focused on the upsell process of getting them on a membership and banking them as customers over time, and then teaching them and helping them with the betterment of their skin. That's kind of the gist of it. There's a lot more details there, but that's how this runs.
There's a really cool video that I watched, and to explain what I saw, there's two entrances. They're completely two separate businesses, but you walk in and it shares a lobby, but you can tell they're separate. It looks really nice. Both of them are very cleanly branded.
Yeah.
On the Hello Sugar side, where everybody's already coming, you have this really cool uh advanced looking machine that you put your chin in, it goes over your whole head, and then it's doing a 22-page report. And
Yes.
that's free. And then it's like,
Yeah.
and it's not saying how to fix your poor damage or XYZ is go next door. It's just like, here's recommendations. It's a very unbiased, I mean, just like
Yes.
matter of fact report, and they get to do whatever they want with it. But they already trust Hello Sugar. Why wouldn't they trust Hello Skin, especially since it's only 7 feet away from them at that point, right? So
Right.
the way that those two brands work together is awesome. And then the opportunity for anybody listening to this call is on your flagship. So I would still start with my salon suite, and then I would build up to my flagship, but my flagship would have both a Hello Sugar and a Hello Skin, and my uh as how do you say the workers?
Estheticians.
Estheticians. Sorry. My estheticians can do crossover, right? Most of them, it's going to be your same employees that are working both businesses. Is that all accurate?
Yeah, that's correct. And so, Hello Sugar is a Brazilian hair removal company. We do wax, sugar, and laser. It's full body, but 90% Brazilian. When I started Hello Sugar, it was a wax and sugar company that got into laser later as an upsell. And I realized when we started doing laser, there's a lot of profit in taking something the clients are already doing and then upselling them to something they want already. Hello Skin's a similar model, but it's a totally separate business because it has to be HIPAA compliant. To convert a Hello Sugar, which would be a 4-room salon flagship, into a Hello Sugar Hello Skin, we use the same waiting room. We add 3 rooms and 1 nurse. The estheticians can do everything else. That's not that big of a commitment for this business. And let me tell you, Bennett, I don't know what Hello Skin's going to do. With Hello Sugar, I've got 40 pages or tons of data on item 19s, but I just know we're not going to do average. We're too smart, 45 really bright individuals working in beauty to just do average in this business. And the average med spa today, according to American Medical AmSpa, American Medical Spa Association, is doing $1.5 to $2 million in revenue. The average med spa.
Yeah.
So if we could just be average, which we're not going to be, we're going to freaking crush on this business. And not to mention, every other business has to find clients outside of their network. We're literally taking clients that are coming in for a very inexpensive price and then converting them to a very expensive service that they already want anyway, with all the data and all the technology behind it to make it really effective. So when they buy Hello Sugar, they're incubating a staff, they're going to build into a flagship, and that flagship, if they wanted to do a Hello Skin, can be a Hello Sugar Hello Skin flagship. I know this is like a lot to throw out in like a 40-minute podcast, but like it's important and it's really cool, like how it all can work together and fly well together.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a lot, but it's in stages, isn't it? And it's in stages to mitigate risk, right? Let's start with a salon suite and a flagship, Hello Sugar, Hello Skin, all at the same time. Sure. Or you could build up to it, just like you're saying, and just one step naturally leads to the next. And that way you're not looking at a $500,000 store. You're looking at bits and chunks, and you're only moving forward when that first
in phases
portion is paid dividends, and you trust that. And I think a lot of that, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like Hello Sugar is a lot to put your head around and swallow. Go ahead and do that in a chunk, and then when you're ready, like Hello Skin will be there. You can do Hello Skin in your location when you're ready for it to do the flagship.
So I mean, a lot of the genius here is the marketing. I mean, you guys are so good at the marketing, and then this cross marketing between the two companies. But let's just focus on Hello Sugar. I want to spend marketing dollars, whether it's my grand opening or ongoing. How do I spend the marketing dollars? What is recommended? And tell me what the return is, because I love that you guys provide the reports to all your franchisees as well. I'd love to jump into that.
Yeah. So what's really cool about this is I ran a digital ads agency for 10 years. That was my background. So digital ads, like nobody knows this like the back of their hand like me. And then I taught a performance-based class at BYU on digital ads. I was literally writing the book on this stuff. And one of my best students now runs our digital ads agency. And this is how cool this is. Like most franchises, they require you to use their brand fund and everything. We don't require it. It is optional to use us. You can use whoever you want, which is kind of cool. We only get paid on performance. So it's not like you have to pay a percentage of the revenue that you're spending. You decide what you're going to spend on the socials and then Google. And if we bring a client in the door, like a completed paid appointment for you, you pay the management company $7.50. And then we handle the process from leads to bookings to curation of the appointment and ensuring that those people have a high return on investment. So when you get a report at the end of the month, Bennett, it's going to say, hey, this is how many completed appointments you got. This is your average return per completed appointment because we have all the tech behind that. As long as your cost per completed appointment is less than this dollar amount, you're good to keep spending money because, and we know this very specific to your salon, because your break-even point is so much higher. And so literally when you get this report, it's like, okay, here's my analysis of this. I'm going to either spend more or spend less money. And that's typically what it looks like. And the average salon is spending, it's not like crazy amounts. It's like $1,000 to $2,000 a month on advertising. And that's enough usually to fill books. And they get this halo effect of like, I've seen you everywhere because you're on all the socials, you're on Google. I've heard of Hello Sugar, and people have those kinds of, I hear that all the time of like, yeah, I've heard about that company because of these reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, wrapping it all together, like the transparency that you offer is amazing. All of the financials, I mean, it's as detailed, more detailed than any other franchise disclosure documents. And then the clinical studies, I loved watching your presentation as well and hearing you get all nerdy with like, it's going to pierce the epidermis and the whatever. I'm just like, dude, what are you talking? But you know your stuff. And then what you say is all the studies are online. And then and then you vet which studies. You're like, I'm not doing studies that were backed by the company, right? I'm not doing what was a blind study or whatever. And then you're throwing that on there. And I'm relating that to, because you do the same thing with marketing. It's like, we're very confident in marketing. We're not going to charge you unless we succeed. We're really taking the risk on ourselves. And then we're going to give you all of the data and the reports. And then we'll do the same thing for your employees. So you know who's working and all that. And all kind of comes together to create, a top 10 company in franchising in the entire world right now. So that's awesome. What do you feel like what are your franchisees saying about Hello Sugar? What are the good things and what are the difficult?
Yeah, every year and I don't have these numbers in front of me, but we publish this like really big survey. We pay a company like thousands and thousands of dollars to do this survey for us. It's a third party. It's completely anonymous. We have no take in it. And they just like they ask a ton of questions to the franchisees, and then they stack us against other companies and how other franchises rank. And so forgive me on this pod, I don't have those details, but I can tell you like we're in like the top 10% of customer satisfaction in so many of those categories. And it's because of the transparency. It's because we don't force our franchisees to be like involved in these kinds of fees. It's all like performance-based really for the most part. And it's because the franchisees are making money and we publish that. And so like happy franchisees that are making money are happy. Franchisees that are not, they're going to nitpick about every little thing about the franchise. It's like, oh, I'm making money. Okay. Like this might be happening, but that's okay. I'm still making a lot of money, right? Like there's a happy franchisee when they're making money. And I feel like that's why our customer satisfaction is so high.
Yeah. Go into that a little bit more. Like how is a Hello Sugar impacting the lives of your franchisees, particularly because you're saying it's 10 hours. I don't see another major brand out there, old or new and emerging, that has made it so simple that it's like, hey, 10 hours, like that's got to mean so much towards your business and life. I mean, your lifestyle, and your family life if I'm only working 10 hours.
Yeah, and the reason it's 10 hours is because you can't be in the room. You can't be doing the Brazilian waxing. I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Just sit in the lobby and like say hi to customers? Like, you just got to make sure that everything's like going right, like, and just make sure it's all clean. Make sure they show up on time. Yeah, and so this is kind of a funny story. We're planning our franchise excursion this week, and so I'm in a group chat. And there's one guy in particular. He's got 12 locations, and he's absolutely just crushing it. And so in the group chat, I put in there, okay, like, hey, we had to book this scuba diving. I just, like, everyone just be honest with us. Like, whoever played the most hours of Call of Duty this week, like, let's let him book this excursion. And he's just like, okay, forget it. Like, because he doesn't have a ton to do because his like salons are like so automated. He's got a manager. He's got all these tech in place. Like, it's so much automated. And Bennett, like, it's nice for a franchisee to have their life back and to be able to work like that. It's nice for a franchisee not to have to take that scary leap and quit their daytime job before their company is up and running, right? Like, they can do this. It's manageable. It's small bites. But it's also, from a franchisor perspective, a risk mitigator. Because, Bennett, I know the more that you have to do, the more opportunities for failure. If I'm doing it with a 200 location resource behind me, I can make this thing perfect. I can hire the best people in all of the nation for this. I can make everything just like amazing, right? Like a level that you couldn't do with the resources you have at your location, right? And so because we offer so many things to the franchisee in terms of automation and support, we mitigate the risk because that's less of something you could fail at. You're not good at sales. Okay, that's fine. We can help you with that, right? You don't have to do it. We can help you with that side of things. And so really it comes down to, can you manage employees well? Can you have a good relationship with the people that are working for you, which are typically 19 to 25-year-old females? If you can keep that like soft side, that good relationship, and you can be harsh with them and stern and make sure that they're selling well, you can do it. This is an achievable business for people.
I love that. And then talk about the impact. Like, how did that person's life change going from 0 Hello Sugars to 12 and a bunch of Call of Duty, you know? But talk to me, I guess last question would be, what about the customer? What does the customer walk away with? And how are you impacting communities? Because this is the beauty industry, and we know there's a
Yes.
big mental health epidemic going on, you know, like how does this play into all of that?
I'm going to share this from two sides. First off, the Hello Sugar side. So when I started Hello Sugar, the first thing I did was read every single comment of every one of my competitors. I took those comments and I synergized them into a word cloud. And the number one word that came up in all of the reviews was comfortable. And it's always, she made me feel comfortable. I'm naked and vulnerable on a table. I need to feel comfortable. When I built this brand 10 years ago, that was the obsession in my head. How do I create an experience where the customer leaves feeling very comfortable? I don't hire people that are stuck up or like beauty queens or like, you know, the highest fashion people. I hire people that you look and talk to them and you're like, I feel good talking to you. I don't feel judged in any way. I feel like loved. You know, you're really selling a friendship on the Hello Sugar side. Every nudge, every little thing on the website, every marker of beauty that we have on there, it's not like you're going to look like a model, runway model. You're going to look like you. And we want you to feel comfortable in your shoes. You can see all of our, like you got to see the salons, Bennett. Like the doors are just filled with people of all nationalities and colors and sexualities. And it feels very comfortable. And there's body positivity images all throughout. It's really cool how much we've just like embraced this idea of comfort on that side. So that's the Hello Sugar side. I think people come away with a very positive experience at Hello Sugar. On the Hello Skin side, I had a friend tell me once that she went to a plastic surgeon and the plastic surgeon said, if there's symmetry of the face, you're more beautiful and your nose is crooked. And every time she looks in the mirror, she thinks about that. And I'm like, I don't want to create insecurities for people that didn't exist before. You know, like she never thought about her nose like that before. And so one of the big traits at Hello Skin is we're going to provide scientific clinical level evidence to our customers and let them decide. So the question is not like you should do this, it's what are your goals now that you can see a full picture of the data? And this machine that gives you a 22-page report of your face tells you everything you need to know. Now you tell me what you want to work on, and I'm going to provide you the best clinical evidence at democratization prices, meaning something that you can afford to actually do these services. That's a huge impact in the world in terms of the confidence of the people walking out the door.
Absolutely. I mean, what other memberships are out there like that, right? That you can really go take care of yourself on both beauty, the waxing, and then also adding on the skin for an affordable price. Like it just doesn't exist. And just like you mentioned on before, like the med spa is out of reach, you know, in my mind, that's 40-year-old plus, you know, upper middle class. And now it's like, what, but everybody can afford. So there's really nothing else in the country that somebody can go in and it's affordable, like $60 a month for Hello Sugar, or you go to Hello Skin, maybe it's a little bit more, but you're getting a lot more. But either way, I mean, you're not talking $200, $300, $400, and it's making, you know, that affordable luxury for everybody, which I love.
Yeah, and it's great profits for the franchisee. So we're winning all around.
Awesome. Brigham, thanks for sharing everything. What is the best way for people to learn more about the Hello Sugar franchise opportunity?
Yeah, if you just go to Hello Sugar's website, just Google Hello Sugar franchise, it'll come up. And we have tons of information. We got podcasts, we got numbers on there, startup costs. We got ways to reach out to like our friend dev team as well to help you get started. There's going to be a ton of information. And we're so excited to have you guys join us on this journey. Please, please, please come check us out.
Awesome. And we'll also include some links in this video as well. Thanks, everyone.